Bob Hoskins out in the middle of, North Carolina, in a place called Wilmington. And, we all decamped there because that was the only place big enough, crazy enough, and probably free enough to be able to crash these cars into. It was shot actually in an old cement factory, I seem to remember. But we had a beautiful time. I love Bob Hoskins, who was always tasting strange whiskies. He was always getting people to bring. If anybody went to England, he'd say, "Bring back this particular, 1945 bottle of," and we were always tasting whiskies. But we also did a production. We were there for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And I remember, swimming in the sea and, people for the first time hearing somebody saying, "You better come in because of the shark." I mean, it was a wonderful, it was both beautiful and terrifying. And I think probably the experience of making the movie was not dissimilar. And Bob Hoskins was delightful. Dennis Hopper was really terrifying. You had no idea what he was going to do next. Sometimes he was, as good as gold. Sometimes he was an absolute, firecracker. We had a very, very interesting time. And of course, we wore these amazing costumes. I wore a metal dress that I had to walk into mud with so that it would sink. And I had to have a snake. And in order to get to know the snake, they asked me, would I sleep with the snake in a bag on my bed? So the snake, began to cough up, the fur balls of rat. I could write a book about Super Mario Bros. So I got to know the snake. So the snake didn't bite me when it went around my arm, because it went around my arm and immediately bit me. It was full of things.
The things we do for art.
Yeah.
Incredible!
Yikes.
Man, she sure makes an impression.
Mario Brothers!
Yeah, that's us! You better get a lawyer and get us out of this chicken coop!
I like Mario better when he wasn't a sputtering balloon of rage.
Hey, I got it. Let's go. Come on.
Just let me do the talking.
Shut up.
Now the cops are gonna do the old good Tanuki, bad Tanuki routine.
Boys. Sit down. How's prison?
Bloody Mary. Some breakfast? P-Wing.
You look like hell. I'm,
not sure why I'm in this movie, frankly.
Lazard. Conda, Dactyl, and Cohen.
This movie makes it very hard to tell if something's not supposed to be funny or if it just isn't funny.
That, little part of all of us that can't stand to see someone else in need or in pain.
So I'm here to pull the plug on this movie.
This Cooper clown. We gotta talk to that goofball now.
I don't think you want to do that.
Also what Hopper's agent said to him about taking this role.
It's time for real trash.
Super Mario Odyssey is a brilliant game where you discover a huge amount of awesome secrets across a ton of new worlds. It seems Nintendo hid something amazing in every inch of this game, so here are a bunch of the coolest tiny details and Easter eggs we've found so far. As long as his tops and bottoms match, every costume Mario wears has a matching 2D version when you pop into a side-scrolling area. When you approach an NPC or an item of interest, Mario will turn his head to look at them. Good looking out, Mario. Mario's clothes can be visually affected in several ways. If he gets lit on fire, they'll be burned. If you jump at a frozen lake, his clothes will get frosted. And if you roll around in the Sand Kingdom, he gets dirty. What a time to be alive. If Mario doesn't move for a while, he'll fall asleep. As the plumber naps, a bird will occasionally land on his nose. The bird takes on different forms and colors depending on what world you're in. Furthermore, Mario won't sleep in certain environments unless he's wearing the appropriate attire. But if you have him sleep on the couch in the comfort of the Odyssey, he'll start to snooze much quicker. No bird, unfortunately. I guess they keep the windows closed. Hitting a cactus with your hat will give you a coin, but if you see a group of cacti and you hit them just right to create a domino effect, you'll earn bonus coins. If you bounce on the Odyssey's globe, you'll hear a music box version of the Cascade Falls theme. If you do this after completing the main mission in New Donk City, it'll switch to Jump Up Superstar. When throwing Mario's hat using the Joy-Con's motion controls, Mario will spin a different way depending on whether you flick the right one or the left one. The front door isn't the only way to enter the Odyssey. You can enter through the roof hatch or even the tailpipe. There are a handful of musical Easter eggs in just the Metro Kingdom alone. The music in the game room is the same music from the secret card games found in Super Mario Bros. 3. When you start an RC race, you'll be treated to the music from Super Mario Kart. A rooftop pool area has a boombox that plays the first level music from Super Mario World. And if you hit the boombox with your hat, it switches to the Japanese version of Jump Up Superstar. Finally, in the town hall, the band plays the classic World 1-1 music from the original Super Mario Bros. If you run Mario's face into a cactus on the Sand Kingdom stage, he will have cactus needles sticking from his nose. Ouch! When Mario gets a regular moon, he uses one of 3 hand gestures that reference previous Mario games. He'll either throw a peace sign from Mario 64, an open palm from Mario Sunshine, or a closed fist from Mario Galaxy. Almost every outfit Mario wears is a reference to something in Mario's past, whether it's really old Super Game Boy commercials, games that Mario has once appeared in, or even wacky 3DS ads. Every time Mario takes part in a minigame, such as jump roping or volleyball, a tiny picture of Mr. Game & Watch accompanies it, representing that challenge. New Donk City includes countless references to the Donkey Kong games, such as stores being named after Diddy Kong, or the fact that every street sign is named after a character from the series. Even cooler is that the cars all have Donkey Kong's original release printed on them. If Mario does something out of the ordinary, NPCs will occasionally reward you with special text boxes. These stem from acts like jumping on a Sphinx's head, breaking this poor man's RC car, or even ignoring boss fights. Mario can ground pound into tubes to enter them faster. It even plays a sped-up tube entrance jingle when you do this. When you pause the game, Mario will react differently when highlighting different options, such as splitting him and his hat apart when selecting 2 players, or having Mario stretch when selecting Action Guide. Most Kingdom citizens are terrified of Mario's transformations. They will cower in fear when you approach them, even as a Cheep Cheep. To be fair, it's pretty terrifying. Inside the Odyssey, if you look very closely, you can see that a partially covered top-view map of Bob-omb Battlefield, the first stage from Mario 64, is visible. If you can angle the camera correctly, you can also spot that Hint Toad is holding that map as well. Those were just some of our favorite Easter eggs and secrets we've found so far in Super Mario Odyssey. Let us know your favorites in the comments, and for more videos like these, check out the one we did for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and for everything else Nintendo, keep it right here on IGN.
痛みです。急いで。Ladies. That is mean. Mother Granny, Nakamura. Yes, mother. But not Farah. Little Noru, Sedatina. Hey, Kumutira. Lady Stani.
Oh, come on.
Huh? Need it? Hey! Choppy! Killer break the bank. It's an endrafono che l'attacca brutto! Ancora un errore da! Accusa Oh, Vietnamese. Well, Vietnam.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that, check out some of our other videos on IGN.com and our YouTube channel. For more news, tips, and videos on your favorite games and entertainment, keep it here at IGN.
The bizarro combination of Mario, Rabbids, and a tactics game in Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle somehow came together into something astonishingly delightful, which left Ubisoft with a daunting task in Sparks of Hope, sparking a big enough bombshell to properly catch us all off guard again. But after about 4 hours, with Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, I'm feeling confident Ubisoft has given Mario plus Rabbids the dynamite needed to surprise its audience once more. On the exploration side, transforming Mario plus Rabbids from its linear world structure to more free-roaming open levels was possibly the best upgrade the team could have made. Ubisoft has put in a lot of work to make each zone feel wonderfully open-ended, with a lot of extra space devoted to telling stories with NPCs and environments that the first game never could have. And it's all stuffed with side quests, coins, treasures, and dopey little Rabbid vignettes that make each area highly distracting. But even more important than the exploration, I was surprised by how utterly blown open Mario plus Rabbids has become, thanks to the shifts and how movement and combat work. Free movement alone opens up a feast of tactical possibilities, and offers time and space to understand the battlefield possibilities on a given turn. But that's combined with other significant changes. Each character now has 2 action points to spend per turn on attacking, special moves, and item use, giving every combat situation a ridiculous array of viable approaches. The most exciting new addition, by far, are the sparks. Status effects are gone, but replaced with elements such as fire, water, ice, and others that are applied to opponents by equipping sparks to characters and using them to spice up attacks with elemental energy. This also means enemies, and your team, have weaknesses and resistances to keep in mind, a change which pushed me to spend a meaningful period of time analyzing the battlefield and enemy types. I had to really think about my roster and equipment. It's much harder to bulldoze your way through story fights. Except it's also easier, but only if you want it to be, thanks to a couple wonderful key changes. For one, there's a difficulty selection you can adjust at any time to toggle between easy, normal, and hard battles. Additionally, it's now more possible to grind meaningfully. It wasn't necessary in the sections I played, but had I struggled, I know I could have looped back, redone some story fights, battled some of the roaming enemies on the map again, or done some side quests to level up my party. This should all be extremely welcome news, as both features broaden the range of people who can enjoy Sparks of Hope. It continues to welcome in the tactics newbies, even as it grows more complex, and the true tactical connoisseurs can challenge themselves even more. The one change I'm still genuinely uncertain about, though, involves the Rabbids themselves. They talk now.
Funky footwork, making you faint.
Not just incoherent screaming, but they have fully written out, grammatically correct dialogue now, alongside occasional voice acting, interspersed with their more conventional blah-like utterances.
Ran the table.
On one hand, we get some great characterization this way. I'm not sure we'd quite feel the same depth of utter ennui from Rabbid Rosalina, or clear edgelordery from, well, Edge, without them actually talking.
I was gonna read.
But on the other hand, it's kinda weird, you know? It feels inherently un-Rabbid of them to speak. I genuinely have no idea how this will land by the time Sparks of Hope is done. But I still love the Rabbids, talking or not. Ubisoft accomplished one heck of a feat in making these dorky pests so charming, with both its goofy lineup of Rabbid NPCs and its roster of humorous Mario wannabes. The greater cast of the first game is almost entirely available right out of the gate in Sparks of Hope, and the initial Rabbid deluge both adds to the tactical possibilities and gives the new members like Edge and Rabbid Rosalina much more space to shine. And no one can take the spotlight away from Kingdom Battle favorites, like the phone-obsessed Rabbid Peach, who's become a proper deuteragonist next to Mario himself. A typical side effect of getting to preview more than a few hours of something is that when that thing finally comes out, I find myself sprinting through the content I've already seen to get to the juicy new nuggets beyond. But I don't feel that way about Sparks of Hope. What I played was wildly fun, and so full of possibility, I'm eager to try it again, but using different characters and strategies. I can't wait to see what chaos the Rabbids and I can cause next time. For more on Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, check out the official gameplay trailer, as well as the original reveal trailer. And for all of your other Nintendo needs, stick with us here at IGN.
Super Mario 64 will always be remembered as one of the games that ushered in the 3D era. But beneath the surface of this masterpiece is a web of glitches and skips that make the game a joy to speedrun.
Let's go, baby!
Here are some of the most mind-bending moments you'll ever see a speedrunner do in Super Mario 64.
Oh, my boys, what?
The first glitch comes within seconds of starting the game. Mario springs from the green pipe and is told to run inside the castle. While crossing the bridge, Lakitu will come down one more time to talk to Mario once again, explaining how to use your camera. This gets you to the castle about 10 seconds slower, which may not seem like a lot, but to speedrunners, every second counts, especially this early on. To shave off those precious seconds, stay as far to the left on the bridge guardrail to skip this cutscene. When going for the Behind Chain Shop's Gate star in Bob-omb Battlefield, the intended way to complete this level is to release the Chain Shop by ground pounding on his wooden stake. Well, if you're looking to save another 15 or so seconds, you have to perform what's known as a bomb clip. It allows you to pass right through the gate that guards the star, and is a pretty easy trick to perform, after a bit of practice.
Here we go!
Cannonless is one of the coolest tricks that currently exists in Mario 64 speedruns.
I actually got that.
When attempting the Blast Away the Wall star in Whomp's Fortress, the correct method is to enable the cannon, shoot Mario into the cracked wall, and then collect the star. But by using a very precise series of wall grabs, jumps, and punches, you're able to collect the star without ever even entering the cannon.
Here we go!
Back in Whomp's Fortress, the star called Fall into the Caged Island has Mario climbing a tree, which triggers an owl named Hoot to start flying around. After some tedious bouts of dialogue, you're then able to ride Hoot to the caged star. Instead, speedrunners skip the owl entirely by wall kicking off the cage's side and using Mario's forward momentum to bounce him into the cage. The backwards long jump is probably one of the most popular tricks in all of Mario 64, and for good reason. It is really, really cool. The science here is that the developers never put a speed cap on how fast Mario can travel backwards. So when you perform a long jump at certain spots in the game and maneuver the controls in a specific way, it will allow Mario to glitch into areas you shouldn't be able to. The backwards long jump is used in many different ways throughout the game to achieve different goals, and will go down as one of the most useful ways to bypass entire sections in Mario 64. Mips is a rabbit that appears in the castle basement once you've collected 15 stars. Catching him nets you another star, but that's not even the cool part. Using Mips to clip through a couple of doors is what the entire 16-star speedrun is completely based on. It allows you to bypass the 30-star door and grab the second Bowser key way before you're supposed to.
Here we go!
When going through Shifting Sandland, there's a star that tasks you to stand on each of the 4 pillars in the level. This blows up the top of a pyramid, allowing Mario to gain access inside and collect the star. Instead, speedrunners have seemingly done the impossible and found a way into the pyramid without ever touching a pillar. Through a series of complex and extremely precise jumps, Mario is able to use a bob-omb to ground pound and double jump straight into the pyramid. This currently stands as one of the most difficult tricks to perform in Mario 64 speedrunning. Hazy Maze Cave is another one of those worlds that's just chock full of glitches. The biggest being that the level itself basically doesn't have a ceiling, which allows you to gain access to the underground cavern incredibly fast. If jumping over walls isn't your style, you're also free to execute the slightly slower but still awesome elevator clip that gains you access just the same. Breezeless is a trick which involves skipping another trick that originally replaced having to do the slide in Tall Tall Mountain. Originally, speedrunners started using this breeze to quickly reach the ledge above and grab the star. Then came Breezeless, where a triple jump followed by a ground pound gives Mario just enough height to clip through the mountainside and reach the star.
Here we go!
We hope you enjoyed this small look into the amazing world of Super Mario 64 speedrunning. If you want to see more videos like this, check out the games we'd love to see in a Nintendo 64 Classic. And for everything else Mario related, make sure to keep it right here at IGN.
Hello everyone, I am Rory Powers, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, gaming legend, the voice of Mario, Charles Martinet. That's really, really nice to meet you. Thank you so much for coming in.
Rory. Thanks so much. Hey GN, you're number one.
What we have done is I have personally handpicked a selection of the weirdest mushrooms. Half of these mushrooms are poisonous, half of them are edible. So we're gonna find out if Mario knows his mushrooms.
Okay. The panther cap.
The panther cap.
I would say that this could be related to another mushroom which you find in North America, which is deadly.
Deadly.
Yes.
So we're gonna go with not edible.
Not edible. Mushroom non-ediblous is what I would say.
You are correct. Panther caps are incredibly dangerous. Do not eat them.
Do not eat a panther
For the record,
cap.
do not eat a panther either. This mushroom is called the Destroying Angels.
Destroying Angels.
So, we're in World 1-1. You bump a little mystery box, and out pops a Destroying Angel.
Destroying Angel. The name itself makes me think that possibly this one might not be edible. I would not eat that.
We're not going to eat a Destroying Angel. You are also correct.
Yay!
Apparently, if they kill angels, they're probably going to kill humans.
Yes.
I mean, that's probably the logic around it. I'm alive. I didn't know mushrooms existed like this.
Now this, I believe, is an edible mushroom.
You're gonna take a bite out of the lion's mane.
I believe that in China, this mushroom is dried.
Well, you are correct. It is an edible mushroom. You really know your mushrooms.
Not really, but I it looks like a loofah sponge. I would wash
and
with
you
it
eat those,
if I wouldn't eat it. So.
So this is called the bleeding tooth fungus. This is apparently a real mushroom. I did throw in the real phrase, the real term for it. It's the Hydenellum pecki. So there you go, all the biologists out there. It's one for you. It kind of looks a little grotesque unless that is strawberry jelly. In that case, it's good to go, right?
I would never eat this mushroom, but unless it was presented by a chef and they said, "Wait till you taste this mushroom," unless that chef was trying to kill me. Then this one could very well be edible, and I will say it's edible.
You are correct again. It is edible, but apparently very, very bitter, which doesn't really surprise me.
Kind of like Waluigi after a bad day in the game.
Maybe this is his kind of mushroom.
Bitter. I like it. Now this looks like a giant puffball.
Giant puffball. You add a couple spots onto this, you got a Yoshi egg. That's my first
right?
one, sorted.
I don't think I would eat it, but I think it is edible.
You are correct again.
Wow!
It is absolutely edible. It's huge as well. When I was looking at the photos of it, they are really enormous.
They get really big.
There's a big Yoshi growing in there. Absolutely. And moving on to our final mushroom. The jack-o'-lantern.
The jack-o'-lantern. I believe that this is a deadly mushroom.
Once again, you are correct. I can't believe that you got 6 for 6.
I used to go mushroom hunting with my dad, and we would eat morels, because a morel you can identify easily. Nothing looks anything like
Except
it.
the false morels. I believe that is a mushroom.
A false morel? But I had morels for lunch.
So you did prove once and for all.
I did.
The Mario knows his mushrooms. You are absolutely the man for the role.
Oh, thank you very much.
You nailed it. Absolutely nailed it.
Otherwise it would have been, Wah!
Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Nintendo Voice Chat Live. In just a few minutes, we're going to watch the brand new Nintendo Direct live, and we want you to watch along with us. I'm your host, Brian Altano. My mustache is already falling off, along with my Super Nintendos, Cat Bailey, Max Scoville, Jada Griffin.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. This direct is a special one. It's going to give us our first look at the upcoming trailer for the Super Mario Brothers movie from Nintendo and Illumination Studios, hitting theaters next April. So for the next hour or so, we're going to be watching the trailer, watching the direct. We're doing it all live. You're hanging out with us. We're going to talk all things Mario. It's going to be a good time. Now, how excited is everybody for this?
I'm really excited.
Just very excited, right?
Obviously, this is a world-changing event. We're going to see Chris Pratt's Mario voice for the very first time.
We're not going to see it. We're going to hear it.
Well, I mean, we're going to see him.
We're going to see
enunciate
his weird behind.
Yeah.
You know,
The rump is what everybody's gonna be talking about.
The keister.
Everyone knows Mario. We are all very familiar with Mario. We also know what a movie is. We've only seen one Mario movie, and it was not good in either direction. So this is going to be exciting to sort of hopefully see them, do a better job. And I don't know. I'm excited.
Yeah, so to reiterate, we are going to watch the Nintendo Direct live together right here. We're going to hang out. We're going to talk over it. So get comfortable, party with us. We're also going to talk about everything we know about the movie so far, the cast, all that fun stuff. We've also, more importantly, we've got folks in the crowd at the New York Comic-Con Super Mario movie panel right now, and they'll be feeding us up to the second news from the panel as it happens. So every time my mustache falls off, that means we'll get more news. That's the way that works. No, we actually don't know what's going to happen there. We don't know if the stars of the movie will be there, if Miyamoto will be there. We're here for all the surprises, and we are so glad you joined us because it's going to be really fun either way. And we're going to spend the whole episode celebrating all things Mario. So, I don't know. Let's go. Let's go. So let's kick things off with everything that we know about the Mario movie so far. This has had an interesting trail, and I believe we're all kind of in the loop on this at this point, right? So Miyamoto first started working with Universal a few years ago when developing the Super Mario themed attractions that are now coming to Universal Studios. And Universal kind of has historically had like an animation arm called Illumination, right? And they've made what, Max?
They did Minions, Despicable Me, The Secret Life of Pets. They did Sing. Most interestingly, I think they did a couple Dr. Seuss adaptations, which I feel like is a good sort of way of gauging how they're going to handle Nintendo, because like their original stuff has its own kind of distinct style to it. But seeing how they sort of transformed, the Lorax or the Grinch, which are things people are very familiar with. They're extremely, they're unique. They're very colorful. They're burned into our childhood brains. Nintendo's kind of the similar thing.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Sing movies. I really like the music. And Mario's music is a very important part of the makeup. So I'm really excited to see how that kind of unfolds with them. I think they'll do a good job, though.
We were actually theorizing about this earlier about what 90s song is going to play during the trailer day, because the Sonic movie trailer famously had Coolio, rest in peace.
I was saying boys are back in town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I appreciate that almost none of our mustaches are staying on, by the way.
Mine is on, but it's actually kind of tight, and it makes it hard for me to talk. It's a little weird.
Jada's are amazing because they're opening and closing like saloon doors.
It looks like,
very, very good.
It looks like mandibles on an insect.
So now, the Mario movie was actually supposed to launch this December, but we have some theories about that. We think it got scared off from some big blue cats that are hitting theaters this December.
Right, the Avatar, The Way of Water. Most cats hate water. Those cats don't. But, Mario, the water levels are always a little tricky, so maybe they don't want to, dive into the deep end there. But, I don't know. I feel like April's a good safe bet for when to launch it.
Honestly, I think Mario could outperform Avatar 2.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's my bet.
I mean, it does have the younger audience.
It's a family film, and it would have been perfect around Christmas, honestly. If it turned out to be good, everybody would have seen it.
James Cameron would hit you with a car for implying that Avatar 2 is not a family film.
It would probably be a submarine, actually.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Keel-hauled.
Now, Miyamoto is front and center during production and is co-producing the film, which is obviously definitely a good sign. This doesn't feel like one of those video game movies where people just found out about it. Like the directors are like, "Oh, you're making an Uncharted movie? Oh, interesting. That's news. Thanks for telling us."
Nintendo was very hands-off with the last Mario movie.
Yeah.
That famously went extremely well for them. So I think that's why Miyamoto is very hands-on with this one. So
yeah, if you hear us referencing the 1990s Mario movie a lot, that's because that was our last point of reference for a Mario movie. And many of us are old enough to have been disappointed by that the first time around.
That is the thing that scared Nintendo away from movies in general. That is what prevented them from having, any other adaptations, I think. Like that.
Now, we just got to look at the poster the other day. We still don't have an official title for this movie. Let's take a look at the poster. There were a lot of details in here that obviously we were really excited to see about. There's just obviously Peach's castle is at the top of this giant sort of dome shape, which feels very Odyssey to me. Interesting, but it's not in space. Well, I guess we're all in space. And then there's just some straight up levels in here, which I really dig. And then you pan down and there's like a whole like street fair, including the antique store that specifically sells 8-bit, 16-bit stuff, which I really, really like that. Now,
you got a Yoshi egg right here.
Yeah, there's a Yoshi egg in there. Now there was a big controversy that happened this week. Can you zoom in on that? Now, people, Mario fans all over the world were really upset to find out that he doesn't really have much of a butt in this poster.
There's nothing wrong with that. I want to say that like I don't have a butt, you don't have a butt.
Yeah,
it's okay. I think it's weird that a plumber doesn't have back pockets.
Oh. You know what? That's actually a lot more. That's utilitarian. You're smart, and that's a lot more valid of a complaint. I will say, as like a fairly active but also chubby Italian from the East Coast, it's perfectly reasonable for us to not have a butt. I think it's okay. I don't have one, or I have a flat one.
Clearly his origin story. So
yeah.
I mean, that goes for Mario's butt too. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I do like that. Can we zoom in on the Toad right there that has brought back a Cheep from the market over on the right? Well, that's Captain Toad right there. Yeah. No, he's great. And then, so yeah, this, I don't know if he won this in like a carnival prize or something.
Yeah.
What's this one got here? What is this?
It looks like money, coins, maybe.
Sandwiches? Yeah, it's coins stacked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
So we also have,
Bitty Buds.
The thing is about the Mario Butt thing is that people are really upset about it. I'm not really upset about it, but I think that like Mario hasn't turned around yet. We haven't officially seen his face. We don't know if there's going to be like a Sonic situation here where there's a lot of backlash. But for now, instead of being mad at Sonic's face, we are upset at Mario's butt. Not mad, just like.
Well, I've got a poll running live right now in the chat for YouTube. How are you feeling about Mario's butt or lack thereof? Right now, leading is Mamma Mia, followed by Okie Dokie.
Oh, okay.
Those are the two options I gave them.
That's really good. So Mamma Mia means like they're surprised by it, and Okie Dokie means they're fine with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it works,
Great. I mean, I don't think it's going to stop anybody from seeing the movie, but he is walking right to that pie store there, so that could help. Now, our social team and news teams are on hand at the Mario panel right now at New York Comic Con, which we will call New Donk Comic Con for the rest of the show, thanks to a joke Max wrote. They'll be giving us breaking news as it happens, and also they'll be sending us video check-ins from time to time. Like right now, let's see what's going on out there while we zoom in on Mario's butt.
There's trailer premiering, and today I'm here with Steve. Steve, I noticed that you're dressed like Mario. Looks great. Excited for this?
Oh, beyond excited. I've been hyping up for days now for this. I can't even begin to explain. Like, finally a movie for the huge IP that is Mario.
What do you think about the Chris Pratt casting? What do you think his voice is going to sound like?
I'm anxious but excited at the same time because I trust that Shigeru Miyamoto definitely vetted the voice, because he's really involved in the project from what I hear. So I trust that it's going to be good.
Awesome. And I don't know if you saw the early poster, but there's a little bit of a conversation online right now that Mario doesn't have very much of a butt in the new poster.
Think about what we lost. I know. There's a picture of his butt from one of the games, and then a picture of his butt in the poster. Honestly, what a tragedy.
Well, you think they're going to fix it in the trailer, or?
Honestly, post editing. Got to fix that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'm excited.
Of course.
Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Bob. That was wonderful. So there's some concerns happening live in the building right now. There are fans packing that room, apparently dressed as Mario, and he went with the full. He didn't get like the, Ruby's Halloween costume.
He could
got
be
the
a real
overall.
plumber who just dresses like that normally, and he just put the hat on for Comic-Con.
I know, and his boss is going to see him in this video and be like, "Get back to work. There's a pipe."
Well, the trick is he answered a call to New York Comic Con. He's there servicing the pipes at New York Comic Con right now.
I know. Well, you know what? There's a lot going on at the Jacob Javits Center, so hopefully there's some plumbers on hand. We are going to take a very quick break, but when we return, we are breaking down the cast of the movie, everyone we know so far, and we're going to finally check out the brand new trailer. So stick around because we've got plenty more NVC Live right after this.
Fighter 6 is finally here. Join IGN's Mitchell Saltzman and the voice of Luke, Alex Lee, as we go a few rounds with the beta of one of the most hotly anticipated fighting games of all time. We'll be kicking butt with Ken, Kimberly, Gaio, Jury, and more. Plus, we'll be answering all of your burning questions. So join us October 7th at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern for our Street Fighter 6 beta live stream.
So you like IGN, huh? The news, the videos, the guides, and wikis, it's all in your wheelhouse. But do you ever wish there was more? Introducing IGN Plus, a brand new program that's loaded with tons of cool perks and benefits. Sign up for IGN Plus today and you'll unlock free games and in-game content every month, a free subscription to Map Genie Plus, huge discounts for stuff like Dream Gear, Power A, Humble Bundle, the IGN Store, and tons more. IGN Plus is just $29.99 a year for a limited time. You deserve a little extra.
IGN Playlist is all of your games in one place. You can build your library and discover new games. Create and follow playlists from friends. Access guides for what you're playing. And rate and rank the games you love to share with the world. Available free with your IGN account. It's for players, no matter where you play.
You're a busy gamer with plenty to play. Not a lot of downtime, but you still want to keep up with the latest gaming news? Fret not. No matter where you like to play, PC, PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, I've got the headlines you need to know about. When Half-Life 3 is announced, it'll be on the Daily Fix. When the Switch Pro is announced, you'll be the first to know. And when that big game you just can't wait for is delayed, yeah, I'll have that news too. The Daily Fix, with me, Nars, weekdays only on IGN.
Welcome back to a very special episode of Nintendo Voice Chat Live. As you can see, we are wearing mustaches and hats, so something magical must be happening. In just a few minutes, we're going to watch the world premiere trailer for the Super Mario Brothers movie, and we're going to watch it live with you. I am very, very excited for this. As like a longtime video game fan, Mario fan, this is so, it makes me so excited that my mustache falls off. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Last September, Nintendo revealed some of the cast in a Nintendo Direct. Probably one of my favorite moments in working in this industry, or just being a Nintendo fan in general, was in the middle of a Nintendo Direct. They were like, by the way, we have some updates on the Super Mario movie. Let's start with Mario, who's being played by Chris Pratt. And everyone on Earth was like, what? Just wonderful. So this is happening. We've had almost over a year now to digest this information. How are you all feeling about this today on the heels of actually hearing this voice potentially for the first time?
I'm honestly more curious about some of the other casting choices. Like, we're all obsessed about Chris Pratt's Mario voice, but what about Jack Black's Bowser voice? Bowser doesn't talk in the games for the most part. I need to know what's going on. Will we have Charlie Day reenacting the famous meme from Always Sunny as Luigi?
Right.
Yeah.
We'll get to him, but I mean, Chris Pratt, like, I think the weird thing there is I think it's the Lego movie that got him that part.
Yeah.
I'm skeptical on that, but this one, Charlie Day as Luigi, this is up there with, like, now that we know that he's going to be him, I can't think of Luigi being voiced by anyone else. This is like Sam Jackson, Nick Fury levels of like, yep, totally, I accept it. We're here. This is it for all future intents. You know.
I mean, what's your pasta policy? What is your lasagna policy?
Garfield blocked me on Twitter. I don't know what that tells you.
That's right. Now, I think this casting is perfect. This was the one, when we saw this in the Direct, we went from like Chris Pratt, where we were just kind of like, oh, where are they going with this? To Charlie Day as Luigi. And immediately we're like, okay, that makes perfect sense. And then it kind of keeps ramping up from there. Anya Taylor-Joy is playing Peach, which is really interesting because like she's like in a Mad Max prequel right now. And Peach has historically been, outside of a few moments in video game history, the damsel in distress, the princess trope, and she's in a castle, you have to save her. She's had a couple of moments to fight back and kick some butt, but this feels like they're actually going to take this character somewhere better than just like baseline person who's stuck in a cage, right?
I mean, she's been an action girl in some of the games. For example, Super Mario RPG, she totally takes control of her own destiny.
Yeah, I mean, Anya Taylor-Joy, like, this is interesting because she does a lot of, I feel like, pretty, more art house, grown-up movies, for lack of a better term. But it's, I don't know, she come off like the Queen's Gambit and the Vivitch for this. Like, she's a serious actress, and I'm, hopefully she lends some of that, talent to, giving Peach some gravitas.
Serious dramatic role for Peach. Let's go. She's the secret lead.
I think she's gonna nail it. I feel like she's just, this is gonna show a different kind of side of her that we don't usually get to see. So I'm very interested to see her kind of like do the opposite of what we're used to seeing her do.
I don't see her doing the high pitched voice. Basically.
Right. I mean, the key thing here is this is a serious actress. If they were going to make Peach silly, they would probably have gone with a comedian or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Which they did for several of the next cast members. Jack Black is playing Bowser. Jack Black has been in basically tons of comedies, but also like he spent the last few years kind of pulling back a little bit and Twitch streaming video games with his kids. So he's like, I don't want to say like anybody on this list is like a fake gamer, but Jack Black is like a hardcore.
I mean, he's a video legend. Like
yeah.
Yep. Kung Fu Panda.
Now this one's funny because like Bowser doesn't talk, right? Ever, really.
Most of these characters don't talk too much. They're kind of, sort of one-liners, but yeah, Bowser's, non-verbal.
So I feel like Jack Black's gonna be like extremely over the top here.
I'm like thinking of like Jack Black. Most of his movie roles, they're like he's pretty nice. He's sort of like a avuncular, like approachable character. But I'm thinking of his more sort of chaotic energy in Tenacious D. Like I could see him getting a little more metal here and being like kind of. I mean, look at Bowser's got like spikes on. Like he's kind of metal. Like he could be little evil there.
I mean, there is a lot of dialogue. It's just not a lot of spoken dialogue because we get a lot of talking from Bowser in the Paper Mario series, Super Mario RPG. There's a lot of dialogue there from these types of characters that we normally don't get to hear in the other games. So I'm hoping they kind of like dive into that and kind of use that as inspiration for some of their characters.
I just want them to have this high-powered cast doing the sound effects from the Mario. It's like, no, there's no actual spoken dialogue.
That would be extremely funny.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a precedent though. Like we've gotten, how many Marvel movies with Vin Diesel playing Groot and saying the same line in different intonations.
Right.
People love that tree, man. And
Which
just why not?
Very well might happen for the next casting. Keegan-Michael Key as Toad. This is hilarious to me and baffling. My theory is that he was cast for this because of the shape of his head, and that's what I think Toad looks like underneath the hat. How do you all feel?
I don't think a truer statement's been said about this Mario movie.
You know what? I thought everyone would disagree, so I'm very glad I have one vote on my side. Thank you, Jada.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Yeah, I mean, he played like one half of those little stuffed animals in Toy Story 4, like the carnival plushies. That was him, right? Like I feel like he's got some experience playing strange cartoony characters. He's got some range there.
So Toad is known for his very high-pitched, like squeaky voice. Do you think that they're just going to pull the rug out from under you and have Key do totally the opposite voice? You're like, surprise, this Toad's a little different.
I mean, I'm wondering that about both Bowser and Toad here, but like, what if they do some wacky modulation to be like, oh, these are the actors delivering the lines, but they go in and post and make it, make Bowser and then, make Toad, pipsqueaky.
Next, we have Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, another just like absolute slam dunk.
Sold completely.
I think he was hired specifically because of his laugh. Yeah. Like that's I think that's a big part of it. But it is interesting because it's like it makes me wonder how much of a role Donkey Kong's going to have in this movie. Obviously, Donkey Kong and Mario, their beef goes way back, right? Like they have one of the original video game feuds. They've been friends, enemies, worked together. All the Mario characters are basically theater actors at this point. How do we feel about this one real quick? This is good, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Amazing. And also, my prediction is that Mario will arrive in this world, and one of the first things you'll see is Donkey Kong, like, wreaking havoc, and so we'll have a whole Donkey Kong segment.
Right. That'll be wonderful. Next, Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek. Kamek obviously is the horrible magician
wizard
Koopa creature that flies over levels and makes them
magic Koopa.
He makes them harder for Mario. Kevin Michael Richardson has been doing voice acting for decades now. He's done tons of anime stuff and cartoons in general. But we looked it up. He was actually Goro in the Mortal Kombat live action movie, which rules. A very good time. Next, we'll speed run through a few real quick because these are very, very fun. Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong, which again, nailed it.
Slam dunk.
Such a random appearance, like Cranky Kong. I wouldn't exactly associate with Mario or Donkey Kong Country, but here we are.
And then Sebastian Maniscalco as Spike, Foreman Spike. There are two Spikes in the Mario universe. We don't have enough time to explain them all, but I will say that one of them is a ground level enemy, and the other one is basically Mario's boss on a construction site, showed up in Wrecking Crew and a bunch of other stuff. So they're pulling some deep cut references here, which I'm pretty excited about. We are just a few seconds away from the Nintendo Direct. We're going to get to see the very first premiere of this trailer. We're all going to watch it together right here. It's happening. And then, stick around with us, watch with us the whole time, and we're going to be checking in in with the New York Comic-Con crew. We checking in with you at home. We're just gonna have a good time. It's gonna be live, loose, fun, and we're gonna get to see the Mario trailer. So I'm very excited. We're so close. We're so close. Any second now. Any last guesses on how this thing's gonna open up?
Probably with like a sound effect of some sort, coin or block.
Oh, here we go.
Hello, New York Comic-Con. It's been nearly 40 years since the original Mario Brothers game was released in Japan. Today, lots of people around the world are playing Mario games. Thank you all so much. Finally, the world of Super Mario Brothers will become an animated movie. We've been working on this movie together with Chris Meledandri from Illumination for a long time, from brainstorming and all the way through production. The time flew by as we were having fun figuring out how to depict the Super Mario characters and world.
That's a good way of saying it.
I'd like to hear from Chris.
We had a lot of years to talk about this.
This is so authentically Nintendo to be like, we know you're here to see a trailer, but first, let's have a little speech.
Thank you, Miyamoto-san. I am speaking on behalf of our directors, Michael Jelinek.
Who do you think's doing his voice?
Who else is looking at his background for clues already?
Crew of artists. When I tell you,
who got back there?
Mushroom, coin block. Is that a minion back there? Is
that an AM radio alarm clock?
Is that a Hitmonlee?
Our crew is filled with Mario fanatics.
It's got some.
And they're bringing.
Oh, that's one of the sing men
to this film every day. Next week we complete animation.
There's the pets.
Okay, so they're finishing animation next week.
Composer Brian Tyler heads to the scoring stage in just 11 days. He's been working hand in hand with Koji Kondo to integrate
Koji Kondo's involved.
Sweet.
That's awesome.
Miyamoto-san, it's been over 7 years since we first started talking about making this movie together.
7 years.
And it is thrilling to finally be here to show the very first look at footage.
Just show
Here we go.
Come
Here we
on.
go.
Fans at Nintendo Direct and at New York Comic-Con. Miyamoto-san, shall we go ahead and introduce some of our cast?
Okay, Chris-san. Introduce two of the stars from this movie.
When are we getting to the fireworks factory?
Made this into a really fun movie. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Growing up, man, I spent hours of my life stomping Koopas.
That's me when I have 30 seconds to do a book report on a book I didn't read. I was fighting Bowser yesterday, and the Doombas were there.
His background must be full of secrets because he blurted out.
Oh yeah.
The man who created those memories for me, and it's an honor to work alongside.
Couldn't even wear a red shirt for this, Chris? Come on, man.
That's actually Charles Martinet doing his voice here.
Challenge, as in the film. I must face off against an utterly ruthless scene stealer.
I hope Mario doesn't have that mustache in the movie.
Hero needs a diabolical enemy.
I've actually never seen Mario with like a full beard.
I could not have been paired with the more perfect king of the Koopas, Bowser. Friend.
Bowser.
Reached for that one.
And hilarious, supremely talented Mr. Jack Black.
Thank you, Chris, but I can't let you have all the fun. Now it's time for us to make this moment all about me. While you've been dreaming about playing Mario, I've been preparing. Look at all this Koopa muscle I packed on. This flowing mane doesn't just appear overnight. Do you have any idea how long it took me to learn how to breathe fire? I had to go learn it from Gene Simmons of Kiss. Yes. All this hard work's been worth it, though. I am so proud to have been able to collaborate with you and Miyamoto-san, as well as the entire Nintendo and Illumination team.
Jack Black.
This is so good.
He's gonna steal this movie.
One that will make its mark on Mario fandom forever. Much love.
Miyamoto's laughing.
All right then. Thank you all for waiting. Let's press the start button.
Come on.
Let's go.
Yes. Here we go. Terminator 2 started the same way.
It gives me Smash Brothers vibes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Dude. Whoa. Okay, I have goosebumps right now.
All right, yeah.
Behold,
Yes.
the king of the Koopas!
This is incredible.
This is, yeah.
Wow.
Excellent.
Big Bowser's Fury energy right here. This is like the scariest Bowser's ever been.
Oh no, not the penguins. I've thrown their children off of cliffs so many times.
That will be why they lose this war, Brian.
Oh my god.
That is but a taste of our fury. Do you yield? I do not.
Whoa.
I finally found it. Now who's gonna stop me?
Oh my god.
What?
Wow.
What is this place?
Do not touch that mushroom, you'll die! That one's perfectly fine. Come on, Mario!
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
Huh. Mario Brothers movie.
Wasn't expecting that title.
Shock. Oh my god.
Yes.
This looks amazing.
Oh my god.
I
Wow.
want to thank all of you for being part of this moment with us. And
That gave me chills.
we're excited to share even more footage in the coming months.
I'm looking forward to it too. What do you think will happen during Mario's adventure in the Mushroom Kingdom?
He's gonna get hurt a lot.
Production of the movie is going well. Currently, like with any Nintendo game, we're working on the finishing touches. I hope you're looking forward to the next trailer. It'll be a great experience watching the Super Mario Bros. Movie in movie theaters. You'll get to see the Mushroom Kingdom on the big screen. Look closely and you'll spot things in all sorts of places. This film can be enjoyed by people of all ages, so I hope you'll get to a movie theater and cheer for Mario. That's all for today. We'll see you next spring in movie theaters. Thank you.
Wow. Amazing.
That was a great trailer.
That was a fantastic trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They really got
well
it.
done.
They got so much, and you know what? Like, they added so much that has never been in that world before. I want to say real quick, Mario looks older. Like, canonically, he's supposed to be in his 30s, which I never bought, but he looks like a 48-year-old Italian American man from
Much
the
softer features.
Yeah.
It's usually a lot more defined. I thought it was an interesting approach. They were trying to make him look maybe 10% more realistic, I think.
His voice worked for me too.
Yeah.
Jury's out on that one for me, but the visuals work. Like, I think there's that thing in your head where you're like, we've seen so many like gorgeous like cutscenes and trailers and stuff. Like, we've seen all the Smash trailers where it's like, well, it's gonna look like that, and it's got like an extra level of density to it. Like, there's just something. There's a little wrinkle there. Which is clearly just like, you know, them pouring their love into animating this, and I don't know. I'm into it. I'm very excited to see this movie.
I'm digging the voices. I need to hear more of Toad, because that one kind of threw me off, and I was like, is that really Michael Keegan Key? Or Keegan Michael Key? Like, is that really him? Like, I'm excited. I can't wait for April and next trailers.
I think my secret favorite moment of that, aside from everything, was Mario showing up in the Mushroom Kingdom for the first time and actually being kind of like, wow, this is really fantastic.
I don't know. I feel like dumping a guy in a world full of mushrooms, they completely ripped that off of the Sonic movie. That's how.
How dare you?
But that's what.
Let's check out the trailer again. We just want to keep watching it because there's so much in there.
Behold, the king of the Koopas!
Open the gates! Attack! This is but a taste of our fury. Do you yield?
I do not. I finally found it. Now who's gonna stop me?
What is this place?
Do not touch that mushroom, you'll die! Oh, I'm sorry. That one's perfectly fine. Come on, Mario!
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
Looks like the same font almost as the original Super Mario.
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, it is interesting they didn't go with the same font as the rest of the actual, Mario Brothers font. Because I feel like for all the games they've kept that intact. And for here they have something it's almost like that's the real world, and then the Mario movies in the middle.
So we want to scrub through the trailer and find some details.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's pull it up and start digging through and look for some little details and stuff like that. Because I had a lot of questions. I will say that one of my favorite things so far was the penguins right off the bat. I never would have guessed that would be my favorite thing, but
they're like angry in this one. It's a big illumination energy as opposed to that you hear in the actual games.
I mean, just seeing the details on Bowser's airship, which actually I don't even know if that's his airship, right? Like it seems like he just landed.
It's like a mech.
Yeah, he landed an entire island.
He landed his whole level 8 in the middle of this world.
He did. He flew his entire world in just to bother this small community of penguins that are clearly in the middle of nowhere. They're not really.
But he got the star. They're guarding the star.
That's what it is.
The invincibility star.
I know. Apparently, there's only one now.
Yeah.
I do like that. He had Kamek be his opening act, right? Kamek's got to lead in. That shot of the tail is so good.
Yeah, just the details on all the skin and the horns and stuff is awesome. Now there's a shot here that I really like. This guy with the eye patch and the pauldron.
Yeah.
Can we go back a little bit? I was trying to tell if the Koopas all have slightly different.
I love how Star Wars that shot is, by the way.
This guy.
Yeah. Well, I definitely saw a boomerang Koopa very briefly.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
It looks like maybe the
so you can
front
see it right.
couple.
You can see it right next to the eye patch Koopa on the right.
Yeah. It's super good, and that overhead shot of all the almost look like stormtroopers all lined up.
Look at those scales.
Yeah.
There's some great personality in his face too when he talks. Bowser's always been he's got that smirk and he's screaming at everyone, but to have him he's got a little snark now too. He's got kind of one eyebrow up. But yeah, the penguins have been a part of Mario for I believe since Mario 64. Were they in Super Mario World? I don't think so.
I don't
right?
believe so. I believe
Not
they
really.
debuted in 64.
There
Yeah,
were
and
Ice Worlds in Mario 3, but there weren't really penguins in there.
Yeah. And so penguins, I think, started there in the ice levels in Mario 64. You had to rescue their kids and or throw their kids off a cliff, which many people did. That became a whole meme. So now the penguins are guarding the star. They have their own world and their own dress code and everything. And this whole thing about them throwing snowballs and being
this is kind of giving me Happy Feet vibes.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess there is a pretty good track record for penguin films. There's that and Surf's Up. So who knows, maybe. But
the funny thing is, I don't really associate Bowser with villainy anymore. I associate him with more comedic ineptitude.
Yeah.
Can we go back? I want to see that one snow. All these snowballs did nothing to Bowser, but one of them hit somebody in the crowd and got them really, really good. So here we go. Him. Yeah. He just got
was it the eye patch guy?
I mean, half vision, I guess. If his vision is
dead.
It's so quick.
Do you yield?
Who's voicing him?
That's what I want to know.
I do not.
So one thing I obviously the penguins exist in Mario, but I really kind of hope they don't try to spin up new characters for the sake of the movie.
Me too.
There's enough of a well-known roster that they can
I feel like
flesh
so
out,
far they've done some cool stuff with like existing characters and types by, you know, given the eye patch, like the one guy's hiding. But yeah, this right here is really cool. This is our first shot at the Mushroom Kingdom, and
What a strange look. So that when he's looking, there are two expressions. So when Bowser says, "I do not," that's an expression I've never seen on Bowser's face before.
Yeah, it's not Uncanny Valley, but there's a thing happening where we're seeing characters we love emote in ways we've never seen them emote before, and it's taking me a second to adjust. I don't dislike it. Oh, look at the laces on his boots.
That's great.
Can we? Do we get a
This
look at his
expression? This is like such a strange
It looks
expression.
like when Lisa breaks Ralph's heart. Like that little loop there. I keep thinking of that. But okay, can we enhance? Can we just?
He does not have a butt there, if that's what you're worried about.
The quest for pockets.
Yeah, we do not have pockets there. And yeah, that butt is definitely still a concern in the trailer.
Good reasoning for that. For no pockets, sliding around, doing butt stomps. You know, less friction.
Maybe it'll develop over time with the butt stomps.
You keep stuff in the front pocket so you can easily accessible.
That one's perfectly fine. Come on, Mario!
Okay.
I was wondering why he wasn't allowed to touch the blue mushroom. What do we see in the background there? This is incredibly dense.
Mushroom Kingdom. Yeah.
You know?
So clearly Toad brought Mario through the warp pipe and into the world. And that's,
yeah.
Stranger things have happened, you know? I can believe that.
But your question about how does Toad know who Mario is a very, very fascinating one. And I'm kind of stuck on it now because it means that there's something there that they haven't shown us yet. Like, was he summoned there? Like, we actually don't know.
He's like, come save our world, Mario.
Yeah. We have an idea. This is a teaser trailer, right? So we have an idea of like the conflict, but it's sort of just laying out some beats. There's not a story trailer yet. So we know that Bowser's there, crushing dudes. We figured that, but he's there specifically because he wants that superstar, right? That invincibility star. But Mario, we're not sure exactly why he was summoned to this world because it seems like he just came from somewhere that is absolutely nothing like this.
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. He's shocked.
He could also have come to your point. He could have come from like, I don't know, Donkey Kong Country or something. Like he could have just been in a different area from the mushroom area with Toad.
Right.
And that, I mean, they also, it's a trailer. They could have chopped things up and like maybe there's a scene in between those two shots where he actually introduces himself to Toad or they get to know each other.
Maybe it's a thing of where the Mushroom Kingdom has a way of looking into the real world and they like see like, and maybe Chris Pratt was playing Mario in like a film or something like that, and they like, oh, that's Mario. He can come and save us too. He saved the Mushroom Kingdom in this world. He can come and save our Mushroom Kingdom. So
I like
that could be a way to do it.
He just keeps getting like pulled in, and he's like, "Do I have a say in this?" Anyway, we are going to take a very quick break, but when we return, we are going to check in on the Super Mario panel at Comic-Con and break down some of the biggest questions we still have about the Mario movie. We'll be right back after this. Wahoo!
So you like IGN, huh? The news, the videos, the guides, and wikis, it's all in your wheelhouse. But do you ever wish there was more? Introducing IGN Plus, a brand new program that's loaded with tons of cool perks and benefits. Sign up for IGN Plus today and you'll unlock free games and in-game content every month, a free subscription to Map Genie Plus, huge discounts for stuff like Dream Gear, Power A, Humble Bundle, the IGN Store, and tons more. IGN Plus is just $29.99 a year for a limited time. You deserve a little extra.
IGN Playlist is all of your games in one place. You can build your library and discover new games. Create and follow playlists from friends. Access guides for what you're playing. And rate and rank the games you love to share with the world. Available free with your IGN account. It's for players, no matter where you play.
If you're not following IGN on social media, what are you waiting for? We're constantly updating our feeds to bring you the latest news, gameplay, custom original content, memes, the best user-generated videos and art, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat.
You're a busy gamer with plenty to play. Not a lot of downtime, but you still want to keep up with the latest gaming news? Fret not. No matter where you like to play, PC, PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, I've got the headlines you need to know about. When Half-Life 3 is announced, it'll be on the Daily Fix. When the Switch Pro is announced, you'll be the first to know. And when that big game you just can't wait for is delayed, yeah, I'll have that news too. The Daily Fix, with me, Nars, weekdays only on IGN.
And we are back. Now, you've heard plenty about what we think about the Mario movie, but how do you feel? Let's check in on all of you listening and watching at home and hear your thoughts. Jada, what's the vibe like out there? Are people excited for this movie? Are they worried about it? Cautiously optimistic? How is everyone feeling?
So our poll we've got running. So one of our polls we've got is weirdest unannounced character to include. Thwomp, Wart, Gino, and Candy Kong would be the strangest character people would like to see.
I have a theory about this. I think a lot of people just didn't read the poll and they saw Candy Kong and they clicked on it.
I mean, Thwomp is almost guaranteed to show up in this movie. Wart, maybe. Wart was imagined by Mario in a nightmare. Gino rules.
So Wart was in Link's Awakening too, weirdly?
Yeah, Wart shows up when people pass out.
We've got another one about how you're feeling about the Super Mario Brothers movie. And Mamma Mia is leading currently. So I think that is the people are taking it as a negative. They're a little worried.
Was this before or after the trailer drop?
This is most of these votes are before the trailer drop.
Okay.
Once we ran it, I ran one in the YouTube chat.
I was going to say, because Mamma Mia had a different context before when we were talking about his butt. Mamma Mia was a bad thing. I think Mamma Mia is a good thing.
But there's also, again, a lot of ABBA fans who follow us on Twitter, and they probably saw Mamma Mia, and they're like, here we go again.
During the chat, we had 64% for Mamma Mia and 36% for Let's Go. So it seems like people are a little concerned about it right now.
Mamma Mia could be exciting.
It could be.
Mamma Mia is something Mario could say when he's got a big bowl of pasta and he's excited for it,
Yeah, it could be. So maybe it's just
Mario says, "Oh, Mamma Mia."
yeah.
But I mean, we have seen like a major shift to Let's Go. If you were saying it was 64 before.
Yeah.
So that's,
so people are
good.
into it.
There's also the Mario Mamma Mia where he goes, Mamma Mia.
Yeah. And then most of the chat was blowing up about Bowser. That was what everybody was talking about. I couldn't even screenshot it because it was moving so fast.
This is some good intel, some data we got about Mario's butt. I am upset. Is at a small percentage. I'm very upset. It's like a little bit bigger. Representation is good. I agree with that. Also the tiny heinies, the flat butt crew. We're out here. And then the last one is 47% said, I feel nothing.
Hey, who wrote this poll and are they okay? These are your options.
I'm so excited for this movie.
I'm right there with you.
I really can't. I cannot shake that kind of giddy feeling I have for this is a real thing. It's actually happening. We've seen it. This actually there was a do you guys remember the Sony leak 10 years ago?
Yes.
There was an email in there about the Mario movie.
Really?
Yeah, that was and I think at the time Sony Pictures Animation Studio were technically going to do that. And now it's obviously in completely different hands, but it's almost here. Let's see how things are going with our field team on the ground at New Donk Comic-Con. We have some footage from inside the panel of Jack Black doing the voice to the crowd. Let's take a look.
I'm coming for you, man. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I ruin your day? I'll beat you up. Go back to plumber school. I've gone up against the best, the strongest. Who'd I gone up against? How about Godzilla? I ate him for lunch. I'm the biggest, baddest turtle dragon alive. You think I'm scared of you? Huh? You make me laugh.
He's doing kind of a Thanos thing.
He almost went full 1980s wrestling pro.
That too,
I was going to say that. Oh my! He sounded like Hulk Hogan in Rocky 3.
Yes. Yeah.
But he's got that kind of twang to it,
Yeah.
I feel like I was initially it sounds like sort of a redneck Vegeta, and then I was like, no, it sounds like Thanos, but then also with some more wrestling flair to it.
That was some awesome insight from our crew in the room at New York Comic Con. The panel's continuing. They're going to keep feeding us clips and info and stuff you can't get anywhere else. So we're very excited about that. That really, his face, his animation in the trailer and his voice in the trailer was great, but just getting him sit in the throne for 3 minutes on a stage and yell, I'm like, okay, I'm in. His excitement for this is infectious.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's Jack Black. He's a national hero.
Mm-hmm.
Very into this.
I love Jack Black as Bowser. I love the very villainous Bowser, but I think the thing that I love the most about this trailer actually is the artistry of it. Like Bowser's very intimidating. The blast of fire looks amazing. It feels very accurate to the movies, very faithful to the original games, honestly. I get real Mario vibes from this, and this is the first time we've really had this because let's face it, the old 1980s TV show, not so much. The movie in the 90s, even less so.
Yeah.
So to get this finally, it's been a long time coming.
It's really a magical moment. We've got more stuff coming in from our basically everyone out there. Or so many. This movie is already being memed constantly, including by IGN. Who, what's wrong with you, IGN? Why would you do this? Let's take a look at what IGN just tweeted out. Just to show you, here are some of the characters in the movie as actors from what they played in other things, with their faces photoshopped on top. So we've got the Queen's Gambit as Peach. We've got Jack Black in School of Rock with the Koopa head on. We've got Charlie Day in Oh is Sunny with the frantic Luigi face.
That face is what Charlie Day's voice sounds like, though, so that's perfect,
We only got like a half a set. Did we even get his voice? Charlie Day?
I think we got like a little like scream.
Yeah.
Little.
This is
and then we've got Seth Rogen.
The Banana Express.
I think he's smoking a banana.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's peeling it.
Sure.
He's peeling the banana
with his lungs.
Holding it up. He's holding it up very proudly.
Yes.
It's a fancy banana. You gotta have your pinky extended when you're having the ripest banana of the bunch.
Sure. How else are people feeling out there? I'm like. Maybe it's because I'm here right now and I'm wearing a Mario hat and a mustache that keeps falling out. But I'm very excited for this. It does seem like some people aren't so hot on it. Here's Allegra Frank wrote, me listening to Chris Pratt's voice come out of Mario's mouth while Mario's doing that. It almost looks like he's having
that feels like a meme right
heartburn.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's gonna hit the meme factory. That's gonna be passed around.
That is a face we've never seen Mario make before. Like you were saying.
Very awkward.
Yeah. So it's going to have to grow on us. His proportions are funny to me because I do wonder if there's going to be a moment where he does get pulled into the Mario world and he looks down and he's just kind of like, why are my hands so big? Why are my arms so small? It could go either way.
Yeah, it's really hard to pinpoint what is that different here. His hat proportions are different. It looks closer to a ball cap. I mean, specifically from this angle. But again, it's got that thing where like, in animation things sort of bend around and stuff. But yeah.
It's just rounder, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's that classic thing where it's like somebody made realistic Mario in Unreal or whatever, and it's like it is weird seeing him with skin, like real skin with pores, freckles, blemishes. I'm not wild about it. The mustache has that trademark shape though, and that's
It's almost sort of an OG Mario. It's making me think back to the original Super Mario Brothers, or even further back than that.
Back when he was Jumpman.
Yeah, back when he was Jumpman.
So,
almost.
big question: how do we feel about his teeth?
Right, yeah, that's kind of new here.
They're passable, I guess, at this point. Like, we haven't gotten really. I don't know if there was a better shot in the trailer of him talking with showing more of his teeth, but from this, up close, I think they're fine.
But we're assuming that those are his top teeth. If those were his bottom teeth, it'd be real weird. He'd just have like a just enormous underbite.
Our crew at Comic-Con who are in the panel right now are dropping some really interesting notes in here. Jack Black, outside of just screaming in his voice on stage like you just saw a second ago, has some really awesome sort of responses on like what it's like to play this character. He said there's a lot of responsibility that comes with playing a villain like Bowser. With great power comes great responsibility, and I think that's how they say it. He has memories of playing Donkey Kong as a kid in Culver City, and says Mario is one of the most beloved titles in the universe, and I get to be part of it. I'm part of the Mario universe. I did bring some of my heavy metal roots. Bowser is kind of like a heavy metal rock star. You'll be surprised how he has sort of a musical side. He jokes about wanting to do a Bowser musical to Broadway. Okay, sure. Another thing I didn't know I wanted until right now. And they're showing the trailer again to the crowd and stuff like that. So yeah, it seems like he's really, really into this, right? Chris Pratt does a lot, but I think Bowser's, I think Jack Black is like, this is big for me. I'm really into this.
Chris Pratt looked like he was struggling to remember the names of the characters.
Yeah, he definitely did kind of seem like he was like, oh, I love the Marlowe brothers.
We haven't talked much about the Chris Pratt voice.
Yep.
My feeling after seeing him talk about it was just do a sort of passable Italian voice, but then react, like do the wild takes and that kind of thing when crazy things are happening.
Yep, I completely agree. I think that's going to be super fun. Now, we are going to take another quick break, but stick around. This very special live Nintendo voice chat will return with tons more details on the Mario movie as they come in right after this break right here on IGN. So, see you soon.
Street Fighter 6 is finally here. Join IGN's Mitchell Saltzman and the voice of Luke, Alex Lee, as we go a few rounds with the beta of one of the most hotly anticipated fighting games of all time. We'll be kicking butt with Ken, Kimberly, Gaio, Jury, and more. Plus, we'll be answering all of your burning questions. So join us October 7th at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern for our Street Fighter 6 beta live stream.
So you like IGN, huh? The news, the videos, the guides, and wikis, it's all in your wheelhouse. But do you ever wish there was more? Introducing IGN Plus, a brand new program that's loaded with tons of cool perks and benefits. Sign up for IGN Plus today and you'll unlock free games and in-game content every month, a free subscription to Map Genie Plus, huge discounts for stuff like Dream Gear, Power A, Humble Bundle, the IGN Store, and tons more. IGN Plus is just $29.99 a year for a limited time. You deserve a little extra.
IGN Playlist is all of your games in one place. You can build your library and discover new games. Create and follow playlists from friends. Access guides for what you're playing. And rate and rank the games you love to share with the world. Available free with your IGN account. It's for players, no matter where you play.
You're a busy gamer with plenty to play. Not a lot of downtime, but you still want to keep up with the latest gaming news? Fret not. No matter where you like to play, PC, PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, I've got the headlines you need to know about. When Half-Life 3 is announced, it'll be on the Daily Fix. When the Switch Pro is announced, you'll be the first to know. And when that big game you just can't wait for is delayed, yeah, I'll have that news too. The Daily Fix, with me, Nars, weekdays only on IGN.
Welcome back to IGN Live. This is Nintendo Voice Chat. This is a very special day. We got to see the Mario movie trailer for the very first time. The Super Mario Brothers movie, right? We're going to have to get used to saying that. Not the Mario movie. The Super Mario Brothers movie. That is the full title. We're going to scrub through and check out some details. Now that we've got like a bigger, closer look at it, we'll go full screen for you all and check out some cool stuff we see here. Max, how are you feeling about just where all of this is coming together? Do you think this movie is going to be a big deal?
I mean, it's definitely going to be a big deal. I think it's going to be I've been saying this for a while, but I feel like video game movies are the next superhero movies. We've seen, I mean, honestly, Sonic kind of led the charge here. That's been like a very solid series of movies. And I think Mario is kind of, can definitely, eat some of Sonic's lunch there. There's some stuff to fall back on. And it looks like they're really taking the right approach going about this. So I'm looking forward to it. And it's also, there's such a huge, like deep amount of lore to pull from, which is good. Now we have the trailer here. We can actually scrub through and get some close-up looks. This is a very, very good looking movie. Like this is, they really, like, I've never seen Bowser's skin at that detail before. It looks super cool. Yeah, Super Mario Odyssey looks like running on PS5. Good look at that. It's that HDR lighting, my friends.
That is what a great. Okay, that is an incredible scene. Just Mario falling face first into a mushroom. The mushrooms remind me.
Bounced his off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of little platforms floating back there that you can see.
Yep. The thing I like about this versus the Sonic movie is the Sonic movie gives us a glimpse of Sonic's world, and you're like, I want to see him run on some rings for a while.
Yeah.
This one is him coming into the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah, we actually haven't. It's sort of the opposite of Sonic, where this movie is mostly going to take place, I presume, in the video game world, and we haven't seen any of Mario in the real world yet. Although, like, they're not going to go. Look at the details on his hat. There's even.
Oh yeah, it's got the stitching. That's awesome.
That's really cool. Like, yeah, I remember like when they made Smash Brothers a couple years ago, and it was the first time like you could really see like the gene texture on Mario, and I was like, how much more realistic can you make him look? But yeah, look at that.
Yeah, he's got Does
he have any pockets at all?
Yeah, the front pocket.
Just the front center pocket.
Is that a little chest hair?
Oh, maybe, yeah.
He's got that. I like these. It's interesting. He's kind of got that. I feel like he's usually more buttoned up than that, but
I know he's letting a little bit out. I respect that.
I mean, you're in a new kingdom. Why not? Try on a new hat.
look at the detail on his jeans is really awesome. His proportions are a little strange from some angles, right?
This angle specifically.
This one he looks. I mean, obviously the camera's kind of on the ground, but like he looks taller here, and in other ones he looks kind of squat, which I don't know. It's very fun. I guess we'll figure it out.
The little rainbow behind the Sky Island. I was just thinking about Mario 64 again.
Yeah.
It feels like this movie takes a ton of visual cues from Mario 64.
Yeah, I mean, all the floating islands. I mean, it's even got a little bit, from the first poster we got was a little bit of galaxy kind of with, it's going to be very interesting to see how much of the source material they pull in from all the different games and what we get.
You can see some cheap
We're going to have a Mario Kart Easter egg, right? You're going to see the gold carts in the background.
You're going to have to have that.
Yeah.
There's cheap
in the water over there. Yeah.
Oh, there they are.
It's just so good looking.
What are the birds here? Is that something familiar?
I think they're just regular birds.
I don't know how I feel about that. That they could have different birds.
Look, his eyes get really long. I think that's what's throwing me off. They get kind of tall,
but they also get very very round here. I mean, they're taken for the Mario 64 title screen. People grabbing his nose and stretching his face out of its way.
It does look like he's been stretched out by a fan.
Yeah, this is amazing. I like that he has the
Now is Keegan-Michael Key? Is that Captain? Is that Captain Toad?
That's Captain Toad.
Because he's got the backpack.
He's
with
got the bedroll. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that what? Or I thought it was like a yoga mat.
Yeah. He's on an adventure.
He's got a stick too.
Well, he doesn't. He's not wearing the search lamp.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think that is Captain Toad because Captain Toad usually has the helmet with the search lamp.
It's true.
I think this is one of the Toads from Paper Mario. Because there is one that walks around with a backpack and stuff like that for various.
Right. I mean, they did specifically say Toad in the casting, right?
How do you feel about this? You like that, or
sure? I don't know.
I feel like you're just giving
Toad
the audience memes.
Everyone is super animated. I mean, obviously it's an animated film, but I don't feel like they phoned in just how over the top.
And again, the overalls. Look at the detail there too. And the mushrooms almost look like pillows.
Yeah.
They've got that kind of leathery texture to them, which is interesting.
Honestly, I'm a huge Willy Wonka fan, and it reminds me of when you're in the chocolate factory for the first time, and there's all those little mushrooms there, and they look fake because they are. It kind of has this dreamlike thing here. Peach's castle at the top of that great mountain back there, with the entire Mushroom Kingdom kind of recessed around it, is just like a really cool visual.
I'm hoping somebody does a map comparison, because we've got something over here. We've got a Toad Town, something or other.
Yeah.
And there's roads. So there's I don't know. I'm very curious to see.
Yeah, will there be kart racing in this movie?
You should go check out Bill Mudron's wonderful visualization of the Mushroom Kingdom, where he manages to incorporate Mario 3, Mario 1, Mario World, everything, Mario Kart.
All right, let's check out Luigi. Let's see what's going on. Oh, we got some
bunch of dry bones.
So we got dry bones. We've got Luigi. Now Luigi is just immediately thrown into something terrifying.
Yeah,
I like that it's the Mario Brothers movie, but Luigi gets the tail end, which is pretty on brand.
So he's running away from the bone Koopas.
Yeah.
But my impression is that they put the bone Koopas in a haunted area.
Yeah.
The haunted mansion area. They don't usually hang out in the haunted mansions, Brian. They usually hang out in the castles at the end of a level in Mario World.
They do, but they show up to some ghost houses here and there. I don't know if I don't know about this.
Maybe this
field specifically.
Look, they're climbing the trees and stuff.
Yeah, that's
super scary.
Forest. That's very frightening that they've evolved.
It's really they've evolved. He's heading to a castle. There's the flag right there.
Oh,
so they're not in the haunted area. They came out of the ground because they're skeletons.
That's a mini dungeon in World 8.
After this, I think we're gonna try and listen to Chris Pratt's Mario voice again, because I think this is the biggest takeaway from this. The biggest shock going into this was, how is this going to sound? And now we finally heard it. So maybe we can pull that up in a second. Now I didn't find myself to be super thrown off by it. I didn't think it was really jarring or anything. But let's see. Maybe on second impressions here, we might feel a little bit different. I forget when he we get him. He gets shot out of the pipe into the Mario world, and then we get to hear him. Let's just run this right here.
They're playing it for us, yeah.
What is this place?
Do not touch that mushroom, sorry. That one's perfectly fine. Come on, Mario!
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
Yeah, so it's anybody doing like a, Long Island
kind of a sort
Italian
of passable
uncle.
Mario.
Hey, Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
Yeah,
that's good. That's good. That's a fun time.
Sure.
Now we're gonna check in with our folks on the ground at New Donk Comic-Con to get some fan reactions on the new trailer. Let's take a look.
Hey, we're here with
Tommy
and
Allie.
And we've just seen the Mario movie trailer. We're here to get their thoughts. What did you guys think of the trailer?
I think it looks great. Better than expected, actually.
Yeah? And what did you think of Mario's voice?
We didn't hear too much, but I think there's a little bit of an Italian accent in it, right?
Yeah. And how about Bowser?
Bowser was cool. That was nice. Jack Black did a great job.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
That guy, he wasn't even trying, but he was doing Chris Pratt's Mario voice right when Mario wakes up on like a Sunday. And he's like, hey, you guys want to go out for breakfast or should we stay home?
I think you can just say it. He was doing a better Mario voice than they paid Chris Pratt to do.
Yeah.
Also, they got a lot of nerve like unveiling this at New York Comic Con because I feel like there were a few people in the audience like, hey!
He's not even Italian! There's definitely a bit of that. I know like when I first heard about this, I was like, it would have been cool if they got an Italian American for it, but also like, that's a hard thing to do across the board for all of these things because it's like it would have been cool if they got a gorilla to play Donkey Kong.
They should have got? They should have got Pacino.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's that famous story with Bob Hoskins where he was working on the original movie and he told his kids what he was doing and they're like, "Oh, you're doing the Mario movie based on the video game?" And he's like, "A video game? I used to play King Lear." Like he didn't know he was actually in like an adaptation of an NES game.
He was coming off Dick Tracy. I mean,
yeah, that's true. That is true. So yeah, the Mario voice, it's going to take me a little bit to get used to. I don't hate it. I thought I would hate it. I think it's fine. I think like I've had my entire life of people talking to me like that in a sort of mocking way to be like, hey, look, it's Brian Altano from New Jersey. Hey, nice to see you.
So we only got 10 to 12 words. Our social team counted when watching. We only got 10 to 12 words, and that depends if you count ahs and ums from Chris Pratt.
Oh.
So we only got 10 to 12 words, depending on if you count those, yes or no. So I feel like it's a very small sample size.
Right.
So I think there's still plenty of time for it to kind of turn around. And once we hear maybe an actual full sentence, or a dialogue between him and Mario and somebody else.
Is Mario's voice Sonic's teeth?
Yeah.
Can we get a different one?
Maybe. Now, let's take a larger sample size. We're going to throw to Bob Marshall at the New York Comic Con show floor to explain in detail what it was like to be in the room for the movie trailer reveal. Let's check it out.
Well, it happened. We came to New York Comic Con and we saw the Super Mario Brothers trailer on the big screen right behind me. In the room while the trailer was playing, I would say, once Chris Pratt's Mario voice first happened, there was a little bit of a sigh that hit the room. People weren't as excited, but man, Jack Black's Bowser blew people away. When Jack Black came out on stage, he did his Bowser voice repeatedly, and people couldn't get enough of it. We talked to a couple people just outside right after the panel ended, and all people could talk about was Jack Black's Bowser. So that seems to be the headline from this. Chris Pratt's Mario, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
All right, well, that was your first look at the Super Mario movie trailer and a bunch of other treats, surprises. That movie is out next April, so plenty of time to, I guess, voice your concerns, and maybe they'll change the stuff you don't like, or look at the trailer a million more times on IGN. That just about wraps us up for this week's special episode of Nintendo Voice Chat. Thank you so much to everybody. Remember, you can get brand new episodes of MVC every week on YouTube and all your favorite podcast platforms. If you want more IGN Live, be sure to check out our live stream of Street Fighter 6, the beta, tomorrow right here on IGN at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Oh, and if you want even more IGN, good news, we just launched IGN Plus and IGN Rewards, two awesome new programs that unlock free games, exclusive discounts, and unlimited wave files of all of us doing the Mario voice.
Mamma mia.
That's actually not in there. We're pushing for it, though. Go check it out. Thank you all so much for watching and listening, and we'll see you next week. Wahoo! 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 Mamma mia!
Let's go!
Ay, 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 ay. We did it.